Hey everybody, I'm sorry. I know y'all wanted me to be prompt. I'm about 3 minutes late, but I had an interview at 2 o'clock and I had to finish that up because one of the things that I always want y'all to know that I actually do what I teach, and sometimes it takes a little bit of my time. So I appreciate y'all being here. This is still for you entry level people. I know a lot of you are not quite entry level. Some of you are one step up to our bronze licensees, and some people are copper and silver. But we're going to be talking about it from the entry level perspective today so that you'll understand. And I promised you last week that we would be looking at the first 10 lessons in the 30-day training. I think there's a possibility that you haven't had time to get them all, or you haven't gotten them all, and that's okay. I just want you to understand where we are. And today, 10 lessons. Next week, we'll do lesson 11 through 20. And then the week after that, we'll do lesson 21 through 30. And at that point, you should be ready to run your business, start earning commissions. Some of you may earn commissions before then. We'll talk about that too. So that's what I want to get done today. I just want to get you acclimated in the first 10 lessons. And again, I'm Randall Baxter. I'm the president of Asset Positioning Services. I'm the author of a book called Approach, Plan, Succeed, which you all should all have a copy of that book in lesson 1. And I really want to encourage you to click on that link and pull that book up and read it so that you'll understand where I'm coming from. But I also am the author of the sales presentation that we're going to use. It's called Family Tree Asset Positioning, the go-to first interview. I don't mind telling you, it might sound like I'm bragging, but maybe I am. This week alone, because I did my family tree asset positioning sometime in the past, because most of the cases I do are back-end sales and future sales. But the production this week has been a $180,000 annuity contract, a $40,000 annuity contract, a $38,000 one, and a $20,000 one, 3 life insurance policies. And today has been a 40,000 and a 50,000. So then that's from Monday through Friday, just from me doing what I try to teach you all. I don't know what that totals up to, but it's probably $12,000 to $20,000 in commission somewhere this week. And what I want to teach you how to do that. And the only thing I want to do is show you to do it the way I do it. And that's the quickest way to have the good incomes that you can have in this world that I'm introducing you to. So anyway, I am the head trainer, although we have Greg and Jay and Lisa in the company, and we have other master licensees across the United States who are also trainers. And I teach something called the cycle of success. It's what I do, and I don't vary from it. So I kind of kid people, say, let me teach you how to hunt, and this is going to be your advanced training spoon fed. So that's the first thing that we want to look at. So right now we're looking at, you've seen this slide before. We've talked about our company culture, the mission and the vision and the values. And I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I want to take you to what the overall mission is of today's training. So we're going to review the first 10 lessons, and we're going to talk about how it's applied to the marketing of the Family Tree Asset Positioning Go-To First Interview, which is what I want to teach you to do. And I will teach you to do that after you've had time to read it. And it starts in lesson 21, which is 2 weeks from today. So everything between now and 2 weeks from now, I'm just getting you ready, and I'm building your knowledge base and getting your mindset right. And I'll be available to you anytime. But so the mission today is I just want to review those first 10 lessons. So, but before I do that, I want to ask you a question. What's your mission? Why are you attending here? And you might want to write it down. But one of the things I want you to do is, what is your income goal? I want to talk about that in a minute. If you're working a 40-hour week right now, and I don't know, even if you're just making minimum wage, that's $15 an hour. So that's about $32,000 a year income. But most of you probably, if you're working, you're making more than that. Even if you're making $30 an hour or $20 an hour. That means you have a $40,000 income. And what I'm trying to show you is if you learn what I'm trying to show you and you just do one estate plan in your spare time each week, that's $26,000 a year. But if you learn to do two, that's $52,000 a year. And if you upgrade the way we show you how to do it, where you have your own website and your own little business to run, if you sell one a week, that's an easy $50,000 income, and you're not working a 40-hour week. You're probably working a 10, 12, 15-hour week. So those are just some things that I just want to make you aware of, and the opportunities. And I also want to make you aware that you're going to be led by people that know how to do this. So when I talk about the vision, and the vision changes every week according to the lessons that we're going to be teaching. But the vision right now is, we are trying to create a nationwide network of trained presenters who can lead their clients to the establishment of the proper estate planning concepts. And I'm going to show you some videos today that I think you're really going to be interested in, and how to select the proper people in their lives to apply their wishes when they cannot speak for themselves. If you lead somebody through that conversation, you become a hero in their family, and you also become a family member. And they're going to come to you for advice. And you can stay on the entry level and give them advice about their estate plan, but you can also, if you decide to grow and get licensed in some of the products, you're going to have lifetime customers. So anyway, the values as far as what I'm going to be looking at today, is what are the first steps? If you're going to actually learn to do what we're talking about, you need to learn what the first steps are, and you need to get good at them. So today I want to show you a little bit about the software that we use. We're going to talk about why people benefit from the conversations with you. We're going to talk to you about how to make the sale. We're going to show you the path that you can go to make the sale. We're going to let you get a little better understanding of what we mean by estate planning, because there's many, many different types of estate plans. And what we're going to show you is the entry-level estate plan that 80% of the Americans in the United States probably need or would want if they knew what it was. And then we're going to show you the platform that we use, the marketing platform. And I'm also going to tell you, and again, this is one thing, I'm not bragging. I'm going to tell you why we're the best. And then I'm going to explain to you why our software, we call it attorney written plans. And you learn a little bit about decision tree programming and things like that. So get ready, because I'm going to take you on a ride here for the next hour. It's going to be fast and furious, and we're going to talk about products, and we're going to talk about market impact, sales careers, and we may get some time for some testimonials. But the first thing I want to do is talk about your mission as an entry-level planner is the front-end sale. And we're going to teach you how to make the front-end sale. We're going to show you what you need to do, which tools you need to carry, what you need to say. We're going to teach you the conversation that opens the door to all financial services and products, which many of you on the entry level will not be licensed for until, and we talked to a gentleman last week, and I hope he's here today, who was in the process of getting licensed, but could not have an income until he passed that test and got that license, which might be 4, 6, 8 weeks away. Well, this way you can go ahead and generate an income while you're getting your license. You'll have a mentor who's properly licensed, and a mentor who will show you how to take the next step. And instead of making $500 a case, you'll be making $1,200 a case for selling the exact same product. And that's just growth, and we want to share that growth with you. So this is where you come in. This is what we're looking to do. You have 2 tiers in the entry level, 2 income opportunities. First one's the entry level front end sale. You earn $500 per case. You make the entry level presentation, and you're coached by a mentor. The second option that you have after the first sale, we don't want you to ask to get promoted until you make that first sale, because we have to spend so much time with you. After your first sale, you can choose to be a licensee. You can upgrade if you want to, and on the same type sale, instead of earning $500, you can earn $1,200 and still be mentored. So you want to double your pay after your first week in the business? So that's okay with me. All right. So anyway, And this is a sales career. When we advertise it, it's commission-based sales career. No salary, nothing like that. You have to earn as you go. And you'll be taught how to approach people, who you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their estate plan. Not the one they will eventually buy from you, but the one they have right now. And that's where the true sale is made, is making people realize that everybody's got a plan. And that's the starting point. That's the beginning of unlimited income for you, or especially even when I talk about your income, your mission is income. If you're we talked about a little bit last week, if you're a parent and you're taking your kids to school and putting them in school at 8:30 in the morning, and you need to pick them up at 2:30, well, that gives you almost 6 hours where you can go out and make one of these sales and make between $500 and $1,200 as many times during the week as you want to. And we're going to show you how to do it. So anyway, as far as a testimonial, you'll become the topic of family conversations. This is me talking to you for years and for years to come, because you will have helped your prospect or your client answer questions to which they have always wanted answers. And they've never known where to go. So when you're ready, and if you ask, I will introduce you to my mentors and my consultants. But in the process, we will also introduce you to someone who can work with you on an entry level as your mentor on the entry level. So anyway, the first step that we're going to take is, let's take a look at the first 10 lessons. We teach you step by step, and all you have to be is trainable and coachable. So in this thing, I said, look at day 2, but the first email you got was day 1, and in day 1, it was a welcome, and then it gave you a link to Approach, Plan, Succeed. So those of you, if you don't have that book printed out or on your computer, I highly want to advise you to read it. It tells you who I am and why I wrote the book, and what the process is. And even in the last chapter, it tells you all the different business arrangements you can set up for yourself if you want to. So I'm just going to take you to day 2, and this ebook is interactive. And this is what you get this ebook if you move up into becoming a licensee. But the fast track training book that we're looking at right now is exactly the same as the emails that you're getting on the 30-day advanced training spoon fed. So what I want you to do right now is day 2 only takes 1 minute and 26 seconds to watch. So I'm just going to click on it right here and let you.
For a platform for comprehensive estate planning. This program has been designed and developed for Americans from all 50 states to be able to create, manage, and keep current their comprehensive estate plan. Why did we invest millions of dollars and years to make all this possible? Our decision was based on facts. You may be shocked to know that over 80% of Americans do not have an estate plan. Couple that with the fact that over $50 trillion is generationally changing hands over the next few decades. Knowing these facts, we saw the opportunity. It all begins with an interview process that enables you to tailor your plan to fit virtually any situation you and or your family may have. Once the interview is complete, the software generates all the pieces needed to make the plan comprehensive and complete. What we have here is the now and future of estate planning. If you are an insurance or financial professional, join us and experience the satisfaction of knowing you're doing the right thing for your business, but most especially for the clients you serve.
Okay, so the thing you need to be aware of on this video is this video is addressed to financial services people, and we will get you there if that's where you want to be. But as an entry-level person, you will be using the same software and making the same presentation, because you don't have to be licensed to talk about estate planning. You only have to be licensed to fund those estate plans. We're going to go to day 3 here in a minute. So it's very important to understand it's the family estate doc's background and story. And I think you just need to know this. And I want to take you back over to that other screen. So the next thing I want to go to is day 3 a minute. And we're going to look down here and talk about just this company and the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview. So I'm going to click on that just a minute. And if you're entry level, you might just want to wonder why you need estate planning for your clients, or why your friends and relatives might want to talk to you about estate planning. And you'll find about what I'm about to say is absolutely true. And this is important. If you survey any 10 people, I mean, any 10 people, any 10 anybody's, 10 friends, 10 clients, 10 neighbors, 5 will say they have no estate plan. And I'll bet you if there's 20 people on this plan right now, 10 would say they don't have an estate plan. That's okay. You know, the numbers run true. But all 5 of those people would be wrong. They have what we call the government plan, and we call that probate court. If they understood the process and the distribution rules their state has for them, if they have any assets at all, they probably will not want the probate solution. So your job as an entry-level person is to go in and use the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview to review their current estate plan. And you do that first by drawing their family tree so that you can understand their family dynamics, so that they can see how probate court might not be the best solution for their family. So what about the other 5? Well, they'll either have a will or a trust. And if they have a will, they still have to go to the probate court process. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. And I always tell people, if you have this conversation with me and we draw your family tree, you're going to benefit from the conversation with me about your current estate plan, because you're probably going to learn something you weren't aware of. So if you have a trust, or if they have a trust, they have an opportunity to avoid the majority of the probate process. It can be all of it, but occasionally it's not always properly funded. So out of these 5 people, 80% are unhappy with their current plan. So if you have 10 people, any 10, and we teach you to approach them correctly, any 10 people, 5 people are going to say they don't have an estate plan, which they do. It's going to be probate court. The other 5 are going to have either a will or a trust. And these numbers are true. 80% of those who have a will or a trust are unhappy with their current plan, or don't understand it, or they've had an asset change, or a relationship change, or a health change that makes them want to reconsider what they're doing. So that means out of 10 people, 9 would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. Those are pretty good odds. So I'm going to show you just another little video here, and I want you to watch it, and it'll help you understand what we're doing.
Sound financial planning includes a comprehensive estate plan. Estate planning documents are essential. Without a plan, you are leaving your client's estate fully exposed to the expensive, time-consuming, stressful, and very public probate court process. Exposing your client's entire estate to the world is not a great way to introduce yourself to the next generation of wealth holders. Not to mention the additional time it will take your staff, as accounts are in limbo waiting on the courts. I know you believe in offering your clients the best service possible. If you didn't, you wouldn't be in this business. In the past, advisors referred clients to an attorney and hoped they would get the job done and not refer them to a competitor in the process. Now, why would you want to do that? Thanks to high-tech software and the internet, you can now provide a comprehensive attorney-drafted estate plan for far less cost right from your office. By doing so, you're adding a new income stream to your practice, as well as differentiating yourself from the competition. The biggest benefit is to your clients, who with your help can have their own customized estate plan done in a convenient, simple, and affordable manner, and eliminate the government's probate court plan from the equation. Over 50% of the population doesn't have a will, and roughly 80% of the population that should have a revocable living trust don't. Why? Because they don't understand the consequences of having their estate and families subjected to the probate court process. This is your opportunity to fill that need and grow your business at the same time. Dying is guaranteed. Leaving a client's estate vulnerable to probate court can come back to haunt you down the road. When family members find out what could have been done to keep an estate private, they will be asking difficult questions. With our process, you will have the answers before they ask, such as guardians for minor children. How about subtrust for special needs, IRA see-through provisions, and much more. Competition is fierce. Success requires you stand out from the same old, same old. America is undergoing the greatest generational wealth transfer in its history. If you're not properly equipped to serve a new generation glued to their tablets and phones, your portfolio is going to diminish as advisors with new technology and better service opportunities capture their attention and their assets. Our platform was built by financial professionals for financial professionals to provide you with the power to help your clients and take your business to the next level. We have advisors in all 50 states, getting 3 to 5 warm referrals every week by offering this opportunity to clients. They learn more about their customers, they create stronger customer relationships, and they provide a real bridge to the next generation of wealth holders. We constantly hear testimonials from our advisors of additional financial products they provided to their clients that never would have been sold without the knowledge and relationships built through our estate planning platform. It is a win-win with more prospects, more clients, and more referrals for your business. Now is your time to move from the old ways of doing business and dress your practice for success. Let our software platform open the door to a new dimension of success. Don't let this proven opportunity pass you by simply because you are too accustomed to same old, same old.
So the next thing I want to now think about that. Now you're not licensed, or some of you are, okay? But what we are teaching here is a family tree asset positioning sales presentation, and it leads you to all these conversations. And now what I want you to do is think about day 4 here for a minute. And this is for, well, go down to day 4. Yeah, right there. Okay, day 4, when we talk about making a sale using our platform, if you don't have to have your own personalized low-cost estate planning website, okay? But it's easier to make a sale. What we'll teach you how to do is how to do the paper, okay? If you're an entry-level person, you won't have the website. But what I want to show you right now is how to make a sale using our platform, and you can upgrade it after your first sale. So let me take you up here and show you how to make a sale using our platform.
Making a sale using our platform is simple. In your back office, click on Sales and select the drop-down option Client Sales. Follow the instructions as noted, and you will complete the transaction in a matter of minutes. What happens next? Onboarding a new client is also a simple task. When you put in the transaction, let the client know that a temporary sign-in will be given. Instruct them to set their password to something of their choosing and share it with you so you can assist them as necessary. Make a note of your client's username and password so you can access their plan as needed. Their first prompt will be to accept the user agreement. Like any other form of online software, users are always required to accept the user terms and conditions. The most common reaction is to click on Accept and move forward. Very few people will want to read the agreement. The most important thing the agreement says is that the client is doing their estate plan on their own using our software, and that they will not attempt to steal or alter our database or platform. It is protective language for the company. Next, you will point out that our user interface is friendly and easy to follow. I like to say, follow the yellow brick road, and you will soon be done and ready to get on with life. Point out that at no time will they be required to write any language. They simply fill in the blanks and answer questions yes or no. Our software is based on decision tree programming, meaning that how they answer questions determines the language the software will pull from the database to populate the documents. For instance, the state you click on will trigger the software to take any specific language from that database that might then be specific to the laws of that state. You also want to ask, do you have any idea as to how you want your estate settled? They may not understand your question. So follow with, many families want their estate settled between their children and grandchildren, and that's fine. However, explain that there are three types of assets. One is monetary. It's easy to divide money. Then there's material property that has financial value. And there may even be sentimental assets, things that have passed down from one generation to the next. Neither of these forms of assets can be divided into portions. Some families like to think that their beneficiaries can agree amongst themselves as to how they want assets distributed. This is a risky scenario and one that oftentimes breaks up families. The safest and best way is to look at these types of assets and decide who they want to receive the material and sentimental assets in the form of a bequest. Point out the Beneficiary tab and Bequest tab and let them know to give some thought to what they want to do, understanding that changes can be made as necessary. The biggest thing is to try and not make it challenging for the beneficiaries when that day comes. Encourage the client to complete the questionnaire as soon as possible. Let them know that if they come to something they are unsure of, to keep going and finish the interview, at which time you will answer their questions. Keep in mind, you're not practicing law, but rather educating your clients on what their options are so they can make the decisions they want on their own. At this point, your client should be ready to get started. Keep in mind, some people may want you to assist them as they go through the process. In those cases, it's a business decision for you to make. Many advisors like to take advantage of this opportunity to grow their client relationships to a deeper level. The main thing is you are doing the right thing by having your clients get their plan done. Making a sale using our platform is simple. In your back office, click on Sales and select the drop-down option.
Okay, so if you're an entry-level person, you're not going to have access to this software. You're going to have the paper forms to just talk to people while you're out and about or in people's homes. As that's the $500 entry level. And if you say, hey, no, I want to be the $1,200 entry level, we'll show you how to get this software. And you can go even on your first interview, but we prefer it to be on your second interview because we need you to get out there and learn what's going on using our family tree asset positioning sales presentation. Okay, I'm going to back up right here and take you to the next page. And again, these are emails that you have already gotten, and I don't know if you have had time to look at them or not. But anyway, I think we're right here on day 5. Okay, so let's look at the sales process, the pathway to sales, and this is where you can generate your income. But now remember, if you've the software is the second step. The first step is the sales presentation, the family tree asset positioning, go to first interview, which you're going to learn in two more lessons. But today you learn the difference between being a product salesperson and a process person. So as you grow in this process, you learn that it opens more doors quicker than individual product sales. And I want to introduce you to, well, you've been listening to Mr. Frank Divers already. He's one of the attorneys who wrote everything. And that's his voice that you're listening to. But I just want you to listen to the pathway to sales, and we're going to coach you and guide you through this. You'll have a mentor that leads you through it. But this is a little longer presentation, but I think you'll benefit.
So welcome to this presentation on pathway to sales. Pathway to sales equals success for you and your client. Notice I said pathway. This is a sales process. This is not a tool. A lot of people like to consider something like this a tool. It's not a tool. How do we think of a tool? A tool is something that you carry around in your backpack or your briefcase or whatever the case may be, and we pull out a tool when we feel like we need it. However, in your communications with your client, you have a process of discovery. You want to get to know your client. You want to develop the relationship. You want to qualify the relationship by finding out more about that particular client, and then you take them forward from there. And a tool would be something that you bring in the event that you think that there might be a viable opportunity for the use of that tool. This is not a tool. This is a sales process. Why is it not a tool? It's because having a comprehensive estate plan is the key centerpiece to an entire financial plan or insurance plan or whatever the case may be. Having a comprehensive estate plan is a part of the process. So we call this pathway to sales, which creates a win-win by putting you in the picture. So you've got two types of clients in the world. You've got your current clients, and then you've got your prospective clients, right? The world is your oyster. It's all yours. So all you're going to do then is work with this for your current clients as well as your future clients. So let's start over here with your current clients. So how do you begin a conversation with a current client when you've already been working with them? You are the trusted advisor. There's no sales barriers to entry that exist between you and your client. Why? Because you already have a trusted, established relationship. So it goes without saying that as a financial and or insurance professional, that you already understand and believe in the importance of having a comprehensive estate plan. We're going to take that as a given. I don't have to convince you of that. If I have to convince you of that, then this may not be the industry for you. So when you're working with your client, what do you always want? You want what's best for them. So obviously, if they're looking at potential insurance needs or opportunities within their family, you're going to provide that. If they're looking at financial planning, you're going to provide them with education, and you're going to provide them with product tools and vehicles to get them where they want to be. But the comprehensive estate plan is the glue that brings it all together. So knowing that you've always believed in it, why haven't you had that conversation with me previously? Well, you may have. You may have told me that I really should have a living trust and that I should see an estate planning attorney. You may have even referred me to one. Or you may have told me that I need to investigate it and I need to get it done. And then you move on from there. Why? Because you weren't in a position as a professional to be able to offer them this opportunity. Well, now you can. That's what creates the conversation for you to be able to say and revisit the fact, if you've already told them in the past that having a plan is very important and they should get it, but for whatever reason they haven't, or maybe they got a last will and testament, but they didn't get the other documents, or maybe even they have a trust. Well, if they have a trust, is it current and is it funded? So there's lots of ways you can go with that conversation. The main thing is now you're introducing that conversation. Why? Because your firm has invested the time to understand everything that goes into a comprehensive estate plan, and you've invested the money to be able to provide it. Why haven't you done that historically? Because you didn't have that option. Historically, the only option that people had was to go to an estate planning law firm that had the software so that they could provide this to their clients. They give you a questionnaire, they collect the data, they enter the data into their software, they generate and print documents, and they congratulate you for making a great decision. They give it to you in a binder and pat you on the back, and out the door you go. It's up to you then to get that trust funded, and 80% of the trusts that are written by estate planning law firms across the country are never funded, thus meaning they're basically worthless documents. So if they've got a trust, likely as not, it's never been funded or it's out to date. So you can still come back to the subject matter, and that is your firm has invested the time and the money to do it. You couldn't do that historically. Why? Because there weren't the internet software technologies to enable you to do it. That's where we come into the picture. Over a decade ago, we invested the time and the financial resources to work with some of the top estate planning attorneys in the country. And what did we do? We brought them face to face with our software engineers so that the software engineers could go through a decision tree programming process to thoroughly flush out virtually every option that your clients would need to have a living trust for their family. What that might be. Well, it may be that they have a disabled child or a disabled adult child, or maybe they've been married multiple times, so they've got assets by previous investments that they want to keep separate in this particular marital community. It could be any number of different things that people run into when you're working with a family. And so when you're working with a template type document, you're basically able to kind of cast the net over all of it, but you're able to specifically deal with topics that would be very important to that particular family. So we exhausted that process where our software engineers had the attorneys go through and ask virtually every type of question you could ask or even remotely think of that would apply to a family that you're going to be working with in the future. And from there, the software engineers built a comprehensive digital platform, cloud-based platform that provides us now, as insurance and financial professionals, access to software comparable to, and in most cases better, than you're going to get through most traditional estate planning law firms. That's now where your firm can provide this opportunity to your clients. And it is truly an opportunity because it's a one-way street if they don't have it. And that is they're going to go through the government's plan, which is called probate court, and that's not a very happy journey. So that is why now over here on this side, we've got prospects. So this is the world of people out there that you want to have as a client, which could even be referrals from these folks over here. Now that you're able to provide this to them, all of a sudden now they've got friends and family members that become future prospects. We've even heard of people that get their current clients involved in getting their estate plan, and then they go back and these clients then post it on Facebook, their Facebook page, and say, hey, we just got our comprehensive estate planning done through XYZ wealth management company, and wow, was it great. It was not only easy to do, very comprehensive, but very affordable. So now they're posting it on their Facebook page, which is your current client, generating leads and prospects for you over here. Why? Because they're not talking to them about, you need to see my financial advisor to talk about an annuity or to talk about a life insurance policy. It's something that your family is going to need. So it's a great source there. So your future prospects, it's a magnet. It gives you something to talk about that you don't have now. Perhaps you do consider yourself, well, I have it now. I talk to them and I educate them and I tell them the importance of it, and then I refer them to an estate planning law firm. Oh, okay, well, I'm not going to even go into that subject. You refer them to an estate planning attorney. Okay, but here you're able to provide that service now because of our digital platform. So it's a matter of opening the doors to the prospective market that you definitely want to pursue, especially if you're looking to grow your business. And what's your process there? You're not talking about why now because you never had a conversation with these folks. You now have to go through this discovery process, the same thing that you went through when you were developing these clients over here. So what is that? It's identifying your market. Well, the market, and then you develop the relationship, and then you qualify the relationship. What do we mean by qualify? We mean you determine what they have to work with right now, so that they can outline their goals, and then you can create a roadmap for them to be able to achieve their goals. So that's all called discovery. You know what that is. So you're going through a discovery process with your future clients in the same way that you did with your current clients over here. And then we're getting into the educating. Same thing. Once you're going through the discovery, then you want to know what's their priorities. They may tell you that they one priority over the other, but it's still all a part of the financial roadmap that you're going to help them lay out, whatever that may include. And it comes down to what's most important to them now, midterm, and then long term. Same thing that you've already covered with your clients over here, which is why they're still your clients and why you have a plan with them. So now it's educate. What's educate? It's to go over their options. What are their options? Their options are very simple. You either have the government's plan or you have your own custom plan. There are no other options. So people may say, well, I have a last will and testament, or that's what I know that I need to get. Well, it's certainly better than not having any, but still it subjects that person's financial estate to the government's plan called probate court. So what are the consequences of probate court? Well, number one, it's inconvenient. Number two, it's very stressful. If you've ever known anyone that's taken an estate through probate court, they'll tell you it is not a walk in the park. It's time consuming, it's inconvenient, it's very stressful. And believe it or not, it's expensive. It can easily cost 3 to 8% of the value of the estate. So if the estate is only valued at a couple of $100,000, which I would venture to say any of your clients, when you consider their home and maybe their life insurance and small investments or whatever, they're going to be worth a couple of $100,000 or even $100,000. Well, if it's 3% of 100,000, that's still 3,000, along with the other inconveniences and stress that goes along with the government's plan called probate court. So that's an expensive path to go down. That's a consequence, having the estate exposed. Anything that goes into the government's probate court system gets exposed. It's all programmed into the cloud. It's public domain. So we all know about the consequences of identity theft. Nobody likes identity theft, and yet it affects people every second just about. But theft beyond the grave is also one of the fastest growing cybercrimes in America. How's that? Because anything that's in the probate court system is a part of the cloud, and there are people all over the globe that go into the cloud 24/7 and they find information about people so that they can steal your identity even though you may be passed away. Obviously, it's not a negative impact on the person that's now passed, but how about their family that's having to deal with that estate? So yes, people can steal your identity even after you pass away, and they can do some very awful things that can impact your family. But just the mere fact that it exposes everything that you've worked and strived for your entire life, that's something that very few people are comfortable with. We cover that. Why? Because most people are not aware of it. They've never even thought of it. But that's a negative consequence of having your estate go through probate court. So we've talked about the time, the inconvenience, the expense, the exposure. Bottom line is you've got one path beyond that, and that's to have your own plan, which is called a revocable living trust. Yes, I know last will and testament is very important. It's something that people should have, but it still exposes the estate to the probate court system. So how do you opt out of the government's probate court system? One way, through a revocable living trust. The revocable living trust does everything the probate court system would have to do, except you're doing it while you're alive, while you're in good health, and you're able to sit down and make your own decisions. And when you make your own decisions, it becomes a contract. It's called a revocable living trust, and it is there. And you have complete authority over it for as long as you live. You can make changes to it. You can keep it updated. You can do whatever you want to as your life moves forward. So it's a one-time small investment of something that's going to go with you for the rest of your life and be a return on investment to your family versus the probate court, the government court system being an expense. So now that you've educated your client or prospective client on what their options are, it's either do nothing, which makes no sense. How could you ever let your client do nothing? Or at least get a last will and testament and put that estate through probate court, or best of all worlds, have a comprehensive estate plan, which now, because of the time and the money that your firm has invested, you can make this opportunity available to them, and it is an opportunity. So you've gone through this process, you've educated them, and so now what does this lead to? The close. No matter which path it is, current clients, future prospective clients, the close is simple. Now that you understand the consequences of the government's plan, which you currently have, or you do have a trust, but it's not funded, and it's not current, or you have a last will and testament, and oh, by the way, that still throws it into the path of the probate court system. So really, your options are very simple. Can you explain to me or give me one good reason? It doesn't even have to be a good one. It can be a bad reason as to why you would choose the government plan over having your own custom plan. It's not even logical. I mean, you are a believer in your client. You have the trusted relationship. This should be the easiest close you've ever made. And oh, by the way, I'm going to put you into a free trial and we're going to start filling it out. I don't need a credit card or anything like that. I'm just going to start filling it out. And once we get you through the free trial, that you can see is so simple, it's so comprehensive that you're just going to make the decision. The decision is made for you. It's not one that you're selling them on. It's one that you're leading them to, which is the best thing in the world you could ever do for them. So now you've got success, dollars and cents. And what do you got? You've got your personal living trust, which is the centerpiece. You should look at it as the centerpiece of your client's estate. Why? Because you're putting their assets into it, so their home or any real estate that they have, their cash accounts, their auto. We've got over here, let's say they have a business. Maybe they have an LLC that owns some real estate, or maybe they're a partnership. So now we can put our businesses into that. Life insurance. Yeah, we don't want to change the ownership because life insurance is not subject to probate court. It goes straight to the beneficiary. But when it's payable, it may not be a good time for that beneficiary to receive it. So it's worth considering having the trust be the beneficiary or the contingent beneficiary. Same thing with your investments.
So, anything over here in the investment area, obviously, you're not looking at changing ownerships or any of that. But again, worthwhile considering the living trust being the beneficiary or the contingent beneficiary. So now we've taken you as the financial professional, you put the revocable living trust as the centerpiece. It's the glue that holds it all together, and it's surrounded by this veil of protection that keeps it out of the probate court. And then as a footnote to the living trust, what have you got? Certificate of trust, which is proof positive that you have a trust. Any financial institution that, hey, I want to see that you really do have a trust, you're able to show them the certificate. Power of attorney over health care. Boy, did that become a top of subject importance during the pandemic. And if you've got adults, if you've got children 18 years of age or older, they even need a power of attorney over health care. Your living will, pull the plug or don't pull the plug. It's pretty much mandatory. Power of attorney, this is your pour over will. This pours any titled assets that you have that perhaps didn't get funded into your trust up here, then it pours it into the trust. Then you've got your power of attorney over finances. Again, we hope you never need it, but if you ever did need it, you better have it. Power of attorney over finances. And then your funding kit. This is the real magic sauce for you, because now you're able to really work with your clients, which the attorneys never do, and make sure that all of these assets, everything that they've got, the complete estate, is properly positioned in the trust itself. This is the magic sauce. This is where you're going to invest some time to really understand how to use this funding kit. This is unique, proprietary to us. Why did we create this? Because we chose you to be our market partner. We specifically made a decision, we're not going direct to the public. We're going to provide financial and insurance professionals the very best cloud-based digital platform available anywhere in America for them to be able to bring this opportunity to their clients and make it available to them. And this is what you get as a result of that with this funding kit right here. And they're able to keep it current for the rest of their life going forward. And they don't pay additional legal fees. That's a huge benefit to them. You create a win-win. They win, you win. And you don't thank them, you congratulate them for making a very wise decision. So welcome to this presentation on Pathway to...
Okay, so just a couple of thoughts for those of you who are not licensed. Just remember, you'll be working with a licensed mentor. And if you want to go ahead and get licensed so that you can get those back-end sales, I mentioned to you earlier about my week. Most of my business this week has been on the back-end sale or future sales. But I could have never gotten there had I not been making the entry-level sale. So those are just things that you might want to be aware of. I made a couple of notes, especially for the entry level folks who are not licensed. If you're working with a mentor, you become something I call a force multiplier, where if there are 2 or 3 entry level people working with a mentor, we can go out and we can see 3 or 4 times as many people each day or each week, and if you do this correctly, and again, this is the software. This is actually when we talk about the pathway is the process. When Frank gets in here and calls it a process, we call that process the cycle of success. And I mentioned it to you earlier. We will walk you through that cycle of success, and we'll teach you how to do the approach. We'll teach you how to convert the suspect to a prospect by building the proper bridges. Then we'll turn around and teach you how to make the sale by using the family tree asset positioning go-to first interview. Well, that go-to first interview is not a process. That's a tool. And see, if we teach you the process that you go in for marketing and measure it on a spreadsheet, then we can send you in with the right tools. So, and I made another note there while Frank was talking. Our process allows you to lead the client to making a good decision. At no point does it have to even appear as a sale process, because you're just helping them make decisions. And if you do it correctly, they'll make the decisions that's best for their family. So hold on here a minute, and I'm gonna go back to the next page. Yeah, day 6. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's just talk exactly what is estate planning, and the video you're about to watch will describe to you what estate planning is all about. Remember this: everyone has an estate plan. half of the population is going to probate court. That gives you 336 million people. That gives you 160 million suspects that you can turn into prospects. And you just need to understand, why do we want you to do that? If you help us find the folks that need an estate plan, even if they already have an estate plan in force, we know that it's probably not properly funded. And there has to be a relationship change or an asset change, a job change, or a health change to get people to act. And those people. Okay. So those people are worth $500 a piece if you do what we say, and they can be worth $1,200 a piece if you want them to be. So I want to show you this one more video to watch, and then we'll come back and talk about the next steps. So this is called an introduction to estate planning.
What is estate planning? Estate planning is the process of anticipating and arranging during a person's life for the management and disposal of that person's estate during the person's life, in the event the person becomes incapacitated, and after death. It may surprise you to know that everyone has an estate plan. It's either the government's plan of probate or a custom plan called a revocable living trust. The government plan was established initially based on Old English law when America was first settled. Over years, the probate process has been modified to be more in line with U.S. as compared to Old English law, but it is still a one-size-fits-all plan. Probate court requires the heirs, regardless of the size of the estate, to go through the legal process called probate court. There are several requirements in the court process. The first one is to validate the authenticity of the last will and testament. If there's no will, the court will settle the estate based on the laws of intestate. The court then controls the process of distributing the assets of the estate. Next, the court will appoint an executor or personal representative to take care of court matters associated with the estate. This is then followed by identifying and locating the descendants' assets. Once the assets have been identified, the value of the estate at the time of death will generally be determined by an outside appraiser. The court will not accept guesswork when it comes to determining actual value. In the event of any debts the estate may owe, creditors are notified and given notice to present proof of the debt to the court, at which time proceeds from the estate will be used to pay what's justly owed. Debts are settled prior to there being any distribution to heirs. Lastly, the executor over the estate is charged with the responsibility to prepare and file tax returns. Distributions to heirs cannot occur until the taxes are paid. Once all these matters have been settled and court and legal fees paid, what remains is distributed to the heirs in accordance with state laws. If there is an uncontested will, distributions will occur according to the wishes of the deceased. If there's no will, the state's laws of intestacy will be applied. If there are minor children or disabled adult children, the court will appoint guardians as necessary. As you can see, the government's plan requires a great deal of attention to detail, in addition to the cost involved. An old saying from Will Rogers comes to mind. The only way you can beat the lawyers is to die with nothing. While it's important to understand the legal process of probate, you also need to understand the consequences. Most states have a simplified process for states with less than $50,000 in total assets, including home equity. Families that fall into this category will have a much easier road to travel to complete the process. However, for those families where there's a larger estate involved, the probate process will be more involved. Here's what your family can expect when exposed to the probate court process. First, the time. It can take anywhere from a few months to a few years to complete the process depending on court backlog, complexity of the estate, and if the estate is contested. Inconvenience. Who enjoys having their life interrupted with having to deal with the court system, including trips to the courthouse? No one. It's stressful. Unless it's a family member's job and they are being paid, whoever's managing the process is going to experience stress. Expensive. There are court and legal fees associated with the court process, as well as outside court costs, including appraisals. While the cost of probate can vary by state, it can be very expensive. The example, the court takes a portion of the value of the estate in probate fees, which can be as much as 10%, depending on which state is involved. Exposure. Probate court is a public proceeding and opens to the public via the internet. Nothing is sacred. The estate is fully exposed, including who the beneficiaries are. While identity theft impacts the living, theft beyond the grave can impact family estates. It is one of the fastest growing forms of cybercrime in America. There are over 12 million references to theft beyond the grave online. Bottom line, there's nothing positive about a family's estate being exposed through probate. The question then is, what do you need to do to avoid probate? The best and simplest way is to have a revocable living trust. But what about a will? A will is a wish document designed to inform the court of your wishes, while a trust is a binding legal contract. As compared to a last will and testament, the trust accomplishes what the probate court would otherwise do. All debts are paid, and the remaining assets are distributed to the heirs according to the directives outlined in the trust. Your trust is not exposed, and your privacy is maintained. To further explain the value of a living trust as a contract under law, the grantor, who is the owner of the trust, while still alive, makes the decisions that a probate court would normally make. The key provisions of the trust address how assets of the estate are to be distributed, much like a probate court would. However, the differences in having a living trust is that you not only name your heirs, but also how and when they receive their inheritance. A probate court doesn't have that authority. The how and when provisions involve setting up sub-trust for the beneficiaries, also referred to as joint trusts for children. The beneficiaries can be designated to receive their inheritance outright or in increments at certain age points. There's also spendthrift provisions that empower the successor trustee to withhold distributions to a beneficiary. For instance, a beneficiary may have alcohol or drug-related problems, or perhaps they simply aren't good at managing money. In which case, the successor trustee is acting in the best interest of the person to withhold their inheritance until such time as they are in a better place. The trust will still take care of them as related to their health, maintenance, and welfare. None of this is possible when the estate is probated. The spendthrift provisions will also provide creditor protection for your beneficiaries. Perhaps the person is going through a divorce, has credit or bankruptcy issues. The trustee can withhold the inheritance until such time as the problems are resolved. Normal living costs can still be covered by proceeds from the trust. What about parents with children who have special needs? Your living trust will protect this beneficiary without them losing benefits, including government disability support payments. They will be cared for in the same manner you would have provided. The wake-up call for most people is being told that they have a plan whether they realize it or not. It's the government's plan of probate. When you understand the consequences of probate court, why would you want to choose the government's plan? It simply isn't logical. A family member who is stuck with having to take an estate through probate is not going to be a happy camper. So there are two choices for getting a professional, well-written custom plan. First, you can hire an attorney. And here's the advantages. You're getting it done. Otherwise, you're leaving your family with having to deal with the consequences of probate court. Second, and you will experience some peace of mind. How about the disadvantages? Well, it's inconvenient. You'll have multiple meetings going back and forth to their office. It's a complex process. Attorneys don't tend to make things simple. Complexity equates to higher legal fees. Your living trust is left unfunded. Roughly 80% of trusts written by law firms go unfunded and thus worthless. So why do law firms allow this? They don't fund trust. They encourage people to get them funded and even provide information on how to do it, but they don't push the process. It typically means the estate comes back to them to take through probate, or in other words, they double dip. If you ever need to make changes or get a restatement, you can expect more legal fees to keep your documents current. It's also expensive. Law firms typically advertise reasonable fees to get clients in the door. Those fees can range from a couple thousand to several $1,000s depending on how they size up the client's estate. For instance, add-ons like owning a business can result in increased legal fees. So what about the advantages of our online cloud-based platform? You're getting it done once and for all. It's convenient and it's fast. You get attorney-drafted documents customized to your needs on your schedule from the comfort of your home, office, or perhaps even the beach. Your documents are ready to sign as soon as you finish the online interview. There's no waiting. You get an immediate peace of mind. Our process is simple. Step-by-step questions in plain language. There's no legalese. The software handles all the complexity behind the scenes. It doesn't need to be complex. Your trust is funded. We have an exclusive funding kit simplifying the funding process so that it is quick and easy to do. Any changes or restatements are done without legal fees for the rest of your life. The first year, it's all included. And after that, it's only $29 per year to keep your documents current. You get an online, secure vault to keep important documents, including the estate plan. It's easily accessible 24/7. Your plan is customized to you. Our software doesn't use simple templates, but rather a complex decision tree platform to allow you to customize your plan to your needs using attorney-drafted language. And making things even better, your comprehensive plan is affordable due to the volume of business we do nationwide. So if you're wondering if there are any disadvantages to our exclusive platform, yes, there is one. You won't be able to use procrastination as an excuse anymore. In closing, it comes down to one question. Can you think of one reason why you would choose the government's plan? I don't think so. Maintain the privacy you have always cherished and keep the government out of your personal business. It's a small investment now versus a major expense later. It's your only choice.
Okay, so a couple of things I want you to know. And again, we're talking to you entry level and beginners, people that have not been doing this very often. When we ask you to go out and make that presentation, you need to be aware of what you're selling. Okay, so we're going to teach you how to do that. But you're selling a license to your client that they can make changes to their estate plan anytime they want to. No more legal fees. So we sell this product for $1,995. On your first one, you'll make $500. On the next one, if you want to make $1,200, we'll show you how to do it. And we want you to learn how to do it that way. So anyway, we need to walk around the platform a little bit, and we're almost done. But recently you learned how to make a sale using our platform. Today, I'm going to introduce you to that platform so you understand the value to your career and to your client. This is what you're going to be doing. So I'm just going to click on that and let you watch it real quick.
Our unique platform allows anyone to get an attorney-drafted estate plan tailored to their needs anytime, 24/7 online. Our process is convenient, user-friendly, and highly customizable, so you can create the plan best suited for what you need. Expert estate planning attorneys pour decades of experience into drafting our documents. Our software team built an easy-to-use online interview to guide you step by step through every option. Your documents are customized to your family's needs in your state using proven attorney-drafted language. You save money. Traditional attorneys can charge thousands of dollars. With our internet-based software, we're able to spread the attorney cost over thousands of users. The result? You're able to get the same attorney-written estate plan for a fraction of the cost. Our process is simple. We eliminated the unnecessary legalese so you and your heirs can read and understand your plan without having to hire an attorney to explain what it says. Our estate plans have stood the test of time and are proven to work. We provide a secure document vault to keep your important documents safe and easily accessible 24/7, just in case of an emergency. And with an active account, you can update and make changes to your documents anytime, and there's no extra charges or gotcha fees. An unfunded trust is an expensive waste, subjecting your assets to the slow and public probate process. Unfortunately, most trusts created by law firms are never funded. Law firms leave clients on their own, or they charge extra to draft asset transfer letters to fund the trust. There's little incentive for them to make sure your trust is funded, because they stand to make thousands of dollars when unfunded assets have to go through probate court. We believe this is a travesty, so we built the first comprehensive funding kit to guide you through funding every type of asset into your trust. We even allow you to generate unlimited funding letters at no extra charge. We made the process simple, quick, and user-friendly because we believe your plan should be complete. This is also why generations of clients keep using our platform for their estate plans. Today, you can search online and find plenty of cheap websites offering wills or trust at bargain basement prices. They provide very basic document templates with limited ability to customize documents to meet your needs. And there's plenty of hidden gotcha fees to add features that you might need later. More often than not, anyone with young children or grandchildren or children from previous relationships or special needs family members and other common situations will either cost more or they refer you to an attorney. We believe helping people is good business, so there's never any hidden fees. With us, you receive every feature and option to create your estate plan for one low price. All the documents for your estate plan, a living trust, healthcare and financial power of attorneys, living will, and advanced directives are all included. And your bonuses include a secure document vault and trust funding guide. We also believe in privacy. Many companies provide free or discounted online services because they sell your personal information. These companies are making millions by selling your information, creating a nuisance for you by disrupting your privacy with more sales calls and spam emails. We will never sell, rent, or share your information. With us, your information is always going to be secure and kept private. We have built our company on key principles: comprehensive estate plans, easy to use, honest pricing, always available, security, and privacy. Helping families is why we created this company. And our success is a testament to our commitment to these principles. This is why we are America's best choice for estate planning.
Okay, um, just watching that video made me think of something I just want to share with you. You can go on to many websites and buy other estate plans, but you don't get the help to set it up. Sometimes they're a little less expensive, but you don't know if you have the document right or not, and you don't get any help. And one thing that we do that's different, and you really need to be aware of this, um, we not only coach you through the process, we teach you how to sell it. And we teach you how to grow and how to make your business get better. But you need to be aware that everything's completely attorney written. It's affordable. It's accessible, and I think it's just going to sum it all up right here, just in about 3 minutes. So I want you to let's look at the summation video, and we're almost done.
Why we are your best choice for estate planning. Our platform is convenient and accessible 24/7 via the internet. All the language was provided by estate planning attorneys to our team of developers who developed the software. The documents are state specific as determined in the questionnaire when you select the state you reside in. The process is very straightforward and user-friendly. Second, our process is affordable as compared to having a traditional attorney create your plan. Why? Because you aren't paying for their overhead and they use software similar to ours. Third, we've made our process simple. There's no law that says the language has to be complicated and confusing. We took out the legalese. Fourth, we provide you with a cloud-based secure document vault. You store and keep your documents safe and easily accessible 24/7. You can also store other important documents you may want to be able to access from time to time. An added benefit is you are able to keep your documents current and make changes as necessary without having to pay high legal fees. Fifth, our process provides a simple way to fund your trust. An unfunded trust is essentially worthless. This is a very unique feature that you won't find with law firms, and therefore most trusts written by law firms are never funded. We made the process simple, quick, and user-friendly. So how does our process compare to other service providers? There's some direct-to-consumer inexpensive websites that offer documents for a few $100s. You get a questionnaire resulting in what would be considered a very basic document template. When other options are needed, you're either going to be directed to an attorney or pay additional fees to get what you want. With us, you get a comprehensive living trust with power of attorneys, a secure document vault, the ability to maintain and keep your documents current, and a unique funding kit to make sure your trust is funded. Nothing compares to what you receive with us. Anything offered at a cheap price is cheap, and a sign that the company behind the offer is profiting in other ways off of your information. There's large profits to be earned through third-party advertisers or companies who pay for the data that is collected. Estate planning requires that you enter a lot of personal, private information. You never know where it might end up. With us, your information is always going to be secure and kept private. Very few technology companies have invested the time and money to go to the extent we did in order to be able to offer the most comprehensive estate planning platform in America. We are the nation's #1 choice for estate planning. Why?
Okay, yeah, the biggest thing that I want you to be aware of is uh, you're not alone if you decide to go with this. And in the future, our lessons are going to be a little more in depth instead of just telling you about what's going on. We're going to teach you how to approach your suspect. And I told you that last week. And that's probably the biggest fear a good salesperson or a person wanting to be a good salesperson will run into. is how to approach people and what to say that guarantees that they'll want to talk to you on a favorable basis, which makes them a prospect. So, and you're not going to have to worry about that. We're going to take care of it for you. We'll teach you the go-to first interview. If you implement the proper go-to first interview, in most cases, this interview will lead you to the front end sale. And as the entry level representative, you make $500 per sale, and you'll be mentored by trained APS LLC advisors and mentors. But at the same time, after you make that first sale, if you want to say, "Hey, I don't want to make $500 anymore. I want to make $1,200," we're going to say, "Okay, spend about 30 minutes with us, and we'll show you how to increase your commission on that by $700." And you won't have to do anything different than you've already learned. You just become a licensee. So if you decide to make that, then you have to go in. You can do it for $49.95 a month plus a training fee of $99.95 that we refund to you when you make your first sale. And we do that on purpose so that you'll be motivated to go in and use the prospecting and suspecting system that we've shown you. And we talked to you about people that with disabled children, people going through a divorce, people with health issues. These people, and they're going to benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. And you're sitting on a virtual gold mine just by the people that who are going to benefit from this conversation with you. So anyway, last week we talked about a typical work week. If you attend the appropriate weekly training workshops and for whatever your level of production is, and you develop and work your suspect list and schedule your first interviews and talk with your mentor weekly, and use the go-to first interview, you're going to find that your income starts to rise. Remember, part-time at this is probably worth more than full-time at some of the jobs some of you have. So the first role of the first interview presenter is to establish the first step of the long-term relationship. I want you to maintain and own that relationship, but if you want to stay at the entry level, that's okay. That relationship will be passed on to your mentor, who will be a licensed insurance person or a licensed investment advisor. You'll be using attorney written software, and you've already looked at the 10-day lessons here. So anyway, we've talked about the sacrifice before. So one thing I want you to do is the first step, if you're going to move forward, and I hope you do, is to learn the cycle of success. And that's where we'll introduce you to Greg Davis or Jay will help you with it. And we'll teach you what that process is, and you'll see how easy it is. We do want you to make the commitment to identify people who you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. How could it get any easier? And then you've seen this before, but it just gives you a list of the suspects: the single adults, newlyweds, new parents, divorced parents, extended heads of household, single parents, new wealthy, new careers, pre-retirees, retirees, new health problems, disabled children, poor money handlers, debt burdens, same-sex couples, and May and November relationships. That you have this list here that you can work off of, and I bet you if you win, you could probably put a name on each one of these things that you could approach, and they would be more than happy to talk to you about what we're going to show you: the family tree, asset positioning, go-to first interview. So anyway, if you just emulate what we teach you, you'll see a change in your checkbook and your income. And we've already talked about the career opportunities. You can talk about your mentor. But you control your growth. If you just concentrate on training and follow our coaching, you upgrade when you are ready. But level one is the entry-level representative, and you will learn how to make the front end sale. That's the first step. Learning that, everything else becomes easy. Everything else is downhill. The back end sale will be handled by your mentor until you are ready. Level two, you can move from 500 to 1,200. You can have your own website. You can be a licensee. You can own client privacy. Your earnings per front end sale won't be 500 anymore. They'll be 1,200. And your mentor will help you get that done. You can choose to stay on the entry level as long as you wish, or you can upgrade anytime. So what's the next step? Well, the next step is probably talk to your mentor and establish your first 10 suspects of people you think would benefit from a conversation with you about their current estate plan. Those suspects, your suspects, will learn something they were not aware of, just like you probably did today. They'll act on their new awareness. They will do this by making a front-end purchase. They'll make that front end purchase not because you're putting a sales on them, but it's because you're leading them through the process. They will want what you've got to offer. That's what we call the front end sale. Next week at 2 o'clock on Friday, we're going to review the second 10 days of the advanced training spoon-fed sales system. And you'll have already received the starter. You're already going to be receiving the emails. Open them and read them. Open them and read them and do them. Okay, so the more you learn right now, the higher your income is going to be, and the quicker your income is going to be. So do your short daily lessons and be prepared to ask questions. Failure in this business, if you decide to be an entry-level person, failure is usually a lack of implementation. So there's no reason to sit through this thing for 20 or 30 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes and not implement it, because it's the implementation process that makes you the most money. I want to thank you for your time today. I'm getting ready to take some questions if you have them. Thanks for, the first email includes my book, and I want you to be sure that you take that first email and read Approach, Plan, Succeed. If you can't find that email, let me know and I will send you a link to Approach, Plan, Succeed. If you have questions, I want you to send them direct to Jay Cadlick, and he's your assigned mentor, and get to know him. He'll be in touch with you by email on Monday. So be watching for an email from Jay. And what he wants to know is just how he can best help. He'll answer any questions you have. He's the appropriate staff person to answer your questions. Momentum is what I'm trying to get you to build. Momentum builds slowly. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's hard to stop once it's rolling. I tried to tell you earlier in this meeting today, I think I did, 8, 9 transactions this week. Maybe $12,000, maybe $20,000 in commissions. I haven't tried to figure them out, but I want to teach you how to do that. So I want you to build your momentum. And I said this to you last week, and I'm going to say it to you now. Knowledge. You will have gained a lot of knowledge over the next 30 days. Well, you gained a lot today, and knowledge, but it's useless. It's storage of data if it's not used appropriately. So it's not what you know. It's not what you learned today. It's what you do with it. And if you think that an extra $500 to $1,200 or $1,000 to $2,400 a week is a good idea part-time, or even if it's a good base pay, let us teach you what we do and then emulate our process. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. And I've got my tech people here going to show me how to do that. So go ahead.
We'll go ahead. So one asked by Felicia earlier, she actually messages to me. She's curious, what is the testament?
Okay, well, a testament is usually in the form of a testamentary will. And what that means is when you're no longer able to speak for yourself, you leave a list of things that you wish to have happen or that you are ordering to have happen. So a testament is just a statement of your wishes. Any other questions out there?
Yeah, Joel asked, how do we approach the suspects as non-licensed people? Is there a tactic, especially when you see coworkers who would benefit from a conversation about
Well, that's a great question, Joel. And here's what you have to do. First of all, you've already identified them as an avatar. Okay, that means that they fit this model that you think that they would benefit from. But you can't take an avatar to the bank, and you can't make an appointment with an avatar. You have to give that avatar a name. So if you have somebody at work that that has a disabled child, or that's going through an inheritance issue or anything like that, once you learn those things, and I call that personal observation, that way you don't have to spend any money on marketing. But if you make a good personal observation, it's real easy to say, hey, Joel, I understand you have some issues at home with your children or some credit problems with your children. I think you might benefit from a conversation with me about your current estate plan. And to be honest with you, those that do have that conversation with me usually learn things they weren't aware of. And if you just follow that process and do some version of that and emulate that message, people will say, you're right. We do need to talk, and they will be so grateful and happy that you have chosen to talk to them that they will sit down seriously. And it's best to have their spouse, if they have one, and go through the presentation the way we teach you to do it. But I understand that the hardest part of this whole opportunity is the approach. And what I spend most of my time trying to do is showing people how easy the correct approach makes the whole long-term relationship. I hope that answers your question.
And Joel expounded on that a little bit and said, is there usually a stipulation on presenting suspects at your job with a potential conversation without overstepping workplace boundaries?
Well, yeah. Make the appointment for after work. And Joe, that's how you need to, don't have that conversation while you're at work. But you might have it during the break and say, this is something that I'm doing. And you might say it to a whole group of them and let them know that you think they would all benefit. And don't do a sales presentation. Just let them know that you think that they might benefit from the conversation. And a lot of them will say, you know what, I've been struggling with a situation in my family that I think that maybe it would be a good thing to do, to talk to you about it, and just have no pressure and just get it done.
And that was the last question that's in the chat, but I just invited everyone to go ahead and unmute. So if you want to come off mute at all and ask your question that way, or you can put it back in the chat. In the meantime, I will go ahead and plug in my email that way you know my email that you're going to get from me. But I'm also going to include my Calendly link so that we can have our first coaching get together. If you just go ahead and click on the link that I'm going to put in the chat here now. All you entry-level folks, I look forward to chatting with you, and we'll be able to have our first coaching session, and you can click on that link to get on my schedule.
One thing I'd like to add before we go here, and I want to thank Lisa for being here with us. Lisa DeRuiter's all the way from South Africa, listening in and helping us with everything.
Thanks, Randall.
And Jay Cadlick and me, Randy Baxter. We're going to show you what to do. We're not going to leave you out there hanging. We're going to talk about, if something goes wrong, we'll talk about how it went wrong and what we can do to fix it. And my mission is not for you to not be an entry-level person very long, but you can stay on the entry level as long as you wish. And I have a funny feeling that some entry-level people are going to make a good income, never going beyond the entry level. So, and that's all up to you. I hope you join us. It's been a long week. It's been a good week. And I'm going to let you go unless you have any more questions. I don't see nobody's popping up, but if you have any questions, please ask now while I'm here. And going. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
There'll be